Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're looking at Polestar. A few days ago, I made a video on why you should not panic when Polestar share and the stock market and the electric car market in general, whenever it crashes, why you shouldn't panic. And this is not financial advice, but in my opinion, the market cap is valued at $8.16 billion. $8 billion, that's the market cap. Now I ask you, if you were to buy a company for $8 billion, what would you want from that company? Essentially, you would want to know that in the next 10 years, this company can make that money back, the value, in the next 10 years. I don't care if you're spending $100 million or $100 billion, you want to know that it can probably make that money back in that 10 years. Now, here's the important question. Can Polestar make $8 billion in the next 10 years? I think it can, but even better, I think Polestar can make that money back a lot faster. And here's my evidence. So I wrote an article today. This is the Polestar 3 $20 million marketing budget. Wrote a full article on it. You can check it out. But an important thing that I add to this article is that last year, 2022, was an increasingly great year for Polestar. Now, they increased their revenue by 84%. They increased it to $2.5 billion in 1 year. In that particular year, they delivered 51,500 electric vehicles, which were all the Polestar 2. That was the only vehicle they were selling at the time. I'm happy to say that this year Polestar is open to make and deliver 80,000 vehicles. Towards the end of this year in Q4, Polestar is intending to bring the Polestar 3 SUV to the market. That is this beautiful car right there. So if Polestar can make 2.5 billion in 1 year in revenue, that's not profit, that's just revenue. What can the company make in 4 years? It's quite simple. They can make $10 billion in 4 years. That, ladies and gents, is more than the current market cap of this company. By the way, that's only if Polestar continues to deliver 51,000 vehicles. But we know that Polestar will be delivering 80,000 vehicles this year, if not 70 to 75,000. So arguably, their revenue will rise to above $3 billion this year. So they won't just make $10 billion in the next 4 years. They will make probably somewhere close to $15 to $20 billion in the next 4 years alone. Listen to what I just said. Because they're selling more vehicles each year, next year, they're looking to sell 100,000 vehicles, which means that their revenue will double by next year. This year, they might have a revenue of 3.5 billion. Next year, they'll have a revenue of 5 billion. That's not profit, that's just revenue. So if this year they're making a revenue of 3.5 billion, next year they'll make a revenue of 5 billion by my estimate. How much money is that? So 3.5 plus 5, that's $8.5 billion. In the next 2 years, this year and next year, Polestar will make $8.5 billion. That is more than their current market cap. Yes, you're welcome. I hope you understand now that Polestar is incredibly undervalued. So don't worry about the share price being cheap. Just enjoy it, honestly, because they will make that market cap back in 2 years. Oh my goodness, when I do these calculations, it's almost as if I hit gold. And it really does feel like I've hit gold with Polestar. Because their revenue is rising, the deliveries of vehicles are rising. It's a premium luxurious brand, which means that they can sell their vehicles expensive, just like Porsche, baby. And they're making electric vehicles. They're making electric vehicles that Porsche is not making yet. They're making electric vehicles that Porsche cannot make. Polestar is more than just a competitor to Porsche. They're more like a competitor to Audi. They can make vehicles for 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, premium, luxurious, and still a little bit expensive. And some of these vehicles are like $80,000. In fact, the Polestar 3 right now is going into the US market. In fact, the Polestar 3 at the moment, it's going into the US market, priced at approximately $85,000. This $20 million campaign is to raise that, is to make sure that customers are confident in buying this vehicle. Polestar is intended to build this vehicle in America, in the Volvo Charlotte factory. That's exciting. a car that is built in the US for people within the US. Yeah, that's quite exciting. So I just wanted to do that quick calculations to show you that Polestar is criminally undervalued. I still think this year the share price will return to $10, if not $15. I'm still confident in that. I'm super confident. I am stacking up on shares at the moment, and no regrets. But let's listen to what Yahoo has to say. Let's listen to what the CEO, Thomas Ingeloos, has to say.
Electric vehicle maker Lucid navigating a rocky road as it plans to lay off roughly 18% of its workforce as it looks to preserve cash and cut expenses. Lucid expects to complete the workforce reduction by the end of the second quarter as the company looks to continue making steps towards managing costs. And while Lucid sticks to its cost discipline, Warren Buffett-backed EV manufacturer BYD posted a record number of electric vehicle sales as net income soared over 400%. The Chinese EV manufacturer's performance turns up the heat with competition with Tesla for market share. However, Tesla's moves to slash prices in China appear not to have been enough to gain a competitive edge in the cutthroat Chinese market.
Ooh, okay.
Well, Polestar is making its move to take on the established US luxury market with its electric crossover SUV, the Polestar 3. Here to discuss with the details is Yahoo Finance's Pras Subramanian. Hey, Pras.
I know you're a big fan of the electric SUVs these days, so I had the chance to see the Polestar 3 in the flesh. They bring in the road show for the car in the U.S. They want to show it off to customers and even investors here to show them what's next for the company. I think it's their biggest release so far this year in the highly competitive EV market. So it's coming next year, but it'll be built in China. But then starting in 2024, it'll be built in South Carolina at the Volvo plant there. And what will happen is that although the car right now costs more than the $80,000 IRA tax credit, I spoke to CEO Thomas Ingeloos about a cheaper version on the way.
The Polestar 3 as an SUV will, when we introduce as well the rear-wheel drive and the version that is not connected to all the luxury package immediately, will as well qualify for the tax reduction that customers then can have. Having said that, purchase release program from day one will enable the customer to enjoy the tax relief.
So what he's saying at the end there is that actually with the commercial lease exemption in the IRA, customers now will actually be able to use that tax credit at the time being for now for leasing, but not purchase. So anyway, a big 2022 for the company last year. They actually had a gross profit one of the quarters, believe it or not. In 2023, no less important with that Polestar 3 and also just sort of the new kind of continuation of the Polestar 2 sales. Here's what Thomas had to say about this year coming up.
23, then opposite to 22, obviously will be a year that is much more connected to consumer demand since, thank God, a little less of a burden than it was the years before. So a little bit more of normalization in the automotive market.
So some normalization there for them, but then also still a big year for them with the Polestar 4, a sportier SUV coming out later this year.
I'll keep an eye on that. You know I do like a sporty EV. Always good to have you, Pras Subramanian. Thank you.
Yes, the Polestar 4 is coming out this year. Well, the debut will be this year. I've been talking about that car a little bit recent. Yes, recently I've been posting on Twitter a lot more, but I will be I bought shares yesterday and I posted about it on Twitter. I will be buying shares today again because anything around $3 is just ridiculously cheap, and there's nothing more I love than cheap share. So let's have a look at what we think the Polestar 4 will look like. This, ladies and gents, is what the Polestar 4 could look like. I think this is one of the closest renders that I've seen realistically of what the car could look like. Something to understand is that the entire front of the car is taken away from the Polestar 3. So that might be very misleading. But the rear of the car, it's still very similar to the Polestar 3, but with a more coupe hatchback kind of overflow hang. So this is basically the Polestar 3, just adopted to look like a Polestar 4. And I think that's realistically what the Polestar 4 could look like. I've posted these concepts before that these look like a sedan / SUV. The overall shape is quite similar to what the Polestar 4 would look like. The front, the sides, it's not exactly what the Polestar 4 would look like, and the light bar, but the overall shape That's the shape we're going for. Look at the rear. Look at the rear just above the wheels. Very sharp angles. That's what Polestar likes to have on their cars. Very sharp angles towards the back as well. Additionally, at the front and at the side skirts, very sharp angles as well. So the overall shape is what I meant when I say that's probably what the Polestar 4 is going for. It's this crossover kind of SUV / sedan. We really don't know what this car will be like, but I just know it probably will look amazing. If it looks anything like this, I will love it. This is the Lucid update, the Apple Car update to the Lucid car, and something about this just looks really nice. I posted this saying it just looks kind of sexy, you know, it really does. I don't know why, but something about this just looks really, really nice. I don't know why. It's just a feeling, I visited the Polestar store in Cribs Causeway in Bristol where I live, and it was incredible. They're opening today. Today is the full debut, Thursday, and apparently the head of Polestar UK will be there. Apparently this Polestar BST edition BST edition 270, apparently this is owned by the head of UK CEO. Very exciting stuff. So I'm really happy with where the Polestar price is right now, because I want a bit more time to buy some more share, but I'm still confident that the company will rise to $10 again this year, especially if the EV market has a huge turnaround. Look at the pre-market trading, 2.2% up already. And this is what the 5 days trading has looked like so far. This share have been incredibly close to $3 complete, $3.16 at the cheapest. It really found a bottom around $3.16. I must say that's really remarkable. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to see more. Leave a like, leave a comment, and of course I'll see you in the next one. And remember to check out our article, remember to check out our blog, and subscribe. Put in your email so we can send you newsletters and update you regularly on Polestar content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.